of SEC softball here in 2022. Nice weather here on a Wednesday afternoon in Stark Vegas for the Bulldogs versus the Hornets. Grace Fagan in the circle, and we're underway as ball one is delivered to the Hornets leadoff hitter, Kendall Doremus. Kendall Doremus, a lefty, a slapper, will lead things off for Alabama State. 2-2, the record on the year for the Hornets out of Montgomery, Alabama. Swing and a miss. Count evens up at a ball and a strike as we are just underway here on an unseasonably warm afternoon for February. And I will not complain about that. Got temperatures in the high 60s here at first pitch. Watching that one drop in for a strike is Doremus, and the count is now 1-2. So a ball and two strikes on the left fielder for the Hornets, Kendall Doremus. She's followed in the top of the order today by Bailey Greenlee and Alex Preston. Facing the Bulldogs, senior lefty Grace Fagan. Pop up, shallow in left. Ranging out the shortstop, and the Bulldogs shortstop Madison Kennedy will squeeze it for out number one. Grace Fagan, the tall lefty, a veteran in the circle from Mississippi State, getting her first start of the young season. Has only thrown an inning and a third so far this year. Second straight lefty in the lineup for the Hornets, up to face Fagan. So yet again, a lefty on lefty matchup. Bailey Greenlee, the junior, in the DP spot today for the Hornets. Rise ball, swing and a miss. 0-2. Fagan out in front early on Greenlee. In limited action so far this season, Fagan's only surrendered a couple of hits, but they were both extra base hits. So she's given up 2 earned runs on 2 base hits. And there's our first strikeout of the game, her third strikeout of the season. So quickly, Fagan retires the first 2 she faces, Doremus and Greenlee, both very good hitters for the Hornets. And now she'll face the first right-hander in the lineup. That's Preston. A right-handed hitting junior, Alex Preston, steps in with no one on and 2 gone. Wind blowing hard from right to left and out to left here on this Wednesday afternoon in Starkville. Got a cloudy sky, but no rain in the forecast. Pop-up foul, should get out of play, and it does. Back off to our right. So count evens up at a ball and a strike to Alex Preston. So 3 strikeouts on the year for Fagan in the inning and 2/3. No walks. Teams, though, hitting above 300 against her. Granted, it's a very small sample size here in the early going. Look at that curveball. Drops in beautifully. A drop curve, and the count's 1-2. Fagan trying to retire the side in order. Wasted one upstairs. And the count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone, no one on. Richardson, the cleanup hitter for the Hornets, awaits in the on-deck circle if Preston can keep the inning alive. Changeup drops in for strike 3, and that's how the top of the first comes to a close as Grace Fagan retires the Bama State side in order. No score as we go to the bottom of the first. Mississippi State 1-3 on the year. We'll bring up Briley St. Clair, Chloe Malaulu, and Mia Davidson to face the Hornets freshman right-handed pitcher Elle Lunsford. Lunsford, number 23, will warm up. And she'll face this Bulldog lineup that looks a little bit different this year. No Fa'alelua in the top half of the order, but still Mia Davidson's there. She'll bat third. Hitting cleanup today in this Bulldog lineup is Jackie McKenna. She's followed in the order by Paige Cook, who's off to a great start offensively through the first 4 games. The bottom 4 in the order today for head coach Samantha Ricketts features Kiki Edwards, Madison Kennedy, Riley Hole, and Shay Moreno. St. Clair, Mala'ulu, Davidson, McKenna, Cook, Edwards, Kennedy, Hole, and Moreno. That's the Bulldog lineup 1 through 9. Lunsford in the circle for Alabama State, making her first start but third appearance in 5 games on the year. Has thrown 5 innings total in her first 2 appearances on the season. In those 5 innings, 5 hits allowed, but no runs allowed. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, holding opponents to only a .227 batting average so far on the young campaign. No score yet, just underway. Now we're in the home half of the first, and the home team at the plate, the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Illegal pitch called immediately. So it's already a ball and no strikes. I was not looking, so I didn't see exactly what Lunsford did. More than likely came off the rubber and then stepped back on it. I'll try to get clarification between innings on exactly what happened there. Count is even, a ball and a strike on St. Clair. The junior lefty has been used primarily as a pinch runner and a pinch hitter, or as a defensive replacement, late game defensive replacement so far in her first 2 seasons in Starkville. But now as a junior, has been penciled in the lineup as the starting center fielder through the first 4, now 5 games of the year. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Up the middle, gets through for a base hit. St. Clair continues her hot start to the season. She gets the Bulldogs' first hit of the ball game, the first home hit of the season for MSU. And for St. Clair, the junior lefty, that'll be her team-leading 5th hit of the year. So 5 hits on the season to lead the Bulldogs. And St. Clair, a very good runner, is on at first with no one out, as Chloe Mala'ulu, who spent much of last season in the leadoff spot for State, now batting second here in the first couple of weekends of 2022. Lifts one into left, and it drops in front of Doremus. St. Clair goes from first to third, slides in safely, and ending up at second. Standing up is Mala'ulu, and the Bulldogs are in business early, 2 on in scoring position with no one out. So back-to-back hits, and we'll see how they score that. If they scored a double or a single that allowed Mala'ulu to advance to second on the throw. And here comes Mia Davidson, first pitch swinging. She hits one to the wall in left center, and that'll clear the bases. A double and a 2 RBI hit for Mia Davidson, and Mississippi State, just like that, on top 2-0 in their first at-bat. Back-to-back-to-back hits. A couple of singles and a double. St. Clair, Mala'ulu, and Davidson, and the Dogs have jumped on top of Alabama State 2-0. Still no one out. Davidson at second, and the hard-hitting Jackie McKenna, who gets a start today in left field and is batting cleanup, steps up for the first time. A right-handed hitter. Foul tips. That ball just dribbles back towards the Bulldog dugout. And the count is quickly 0-2 on McKenna. Jackie McKenna making her 5th consecutive start to begin the season. Only has 1 hit so far on the year, just 1 for 10. So Jackie getting off to a bit of a slow start, but up there right now in a no pressure situation. Her team's already on top by a couple of runs. No one out. Got to put it in play, and she does, but not quite deep enough to advance the runner. Just lifts that one out to Myers in center field. And a big out recorded there for the Hornets as they try to stop the bleeding here in the first. 1 gone, 1 on. 2 runs have already come home, and Paige Cook will step in for the first time today. Cook, the Bulldog second baseman, a right-handed hitter, swings at the first pitch and fouls it back to the right side out of play for strike 1. Paige Cook off to a great start offensively through the first 4 ball games. Already has 4 hits in just 9 official at-bats. 444 average. Fouls that one back for strike 2. So a good job by Lunsford after giving up the 3 hits to begin the at-bat. She's come back and got out in front of McKenna. 0-2. Then got the fly out. And now out in front of Cook. 0-2. Good pitch, but a good take by Cook. Just missed. Lunsford tried to go low and outside and just missed. So a ball and 2 strikes on Cook, who has a couple of runs driven in already this year. A chance to add to it here if she can get the right pitch as that ball sails inside and the count goes even 2-2. All 4 hits for Cook on the year have been singles. Hits one up the middle. That'll get through for a base hit. 5 hits on the year now for Cook. Davidson comes in, throws off target, and hustling around second and ending up all the way at third is Paige Cook. The Dogs go on top 3-0 thanks to an RBI base hit from Paige Cook. And Cook hustled around first. Did not hesitate, ended up at second, and the ball got away from the catcher, Lunsford. Or Parrish, rather. And Cook hustling, ended up at third base. Dogs on top by 3 now, 3-0 as Kiki Edwards steps up. She hits the first pitch deep, should drive the run home. Caught by Myers. Tagging and scoring is Cook, and it's all Mississippi State here in the first. Dogs on top now 4-0. Great job there by Edwards. With a runner on at third and less than 2 outs, simply put that ball somewhere in the outfield and drive in the run. So Edwards manufactures a run, and the Dogs add to their lead in the first. 2 gone, no one on now as Madison Kennedy steps up for the first time today. Kennedy, the veteran shortstop. Couple of hits on the year. 2 for 9 so far through the first 4 games with a .222 batting average. Bounces one to the third baseman. Glove by Flowers, thrown across in time, and the inning is over. But the Bulldogs score 4 runs on 4 base hits. There were no errors, no one left on. It is 4-0 Bulldogs after an inning here in Starkville, as Fagan will go back to the circle for Mississippi State. Top of the second inning here in Starkville, 4-0 our score with the Bulldogs on top of the Hornets. I'm Anthony Craven, broadcasting from Starkville, Mississippi today. First of 2 games on schedule between Mississippi State and Alabama State. It'll be Leah Richardson leading things off offensively for the Hornets in the top of the second as they find themselves down early in this one by 4 runs. It'll be Richardson followed by Gardner and Dixon, the middle of the order. Due up for the Hornets. Off-speed pitch misses downstairs. Count is even at a ball and a strike. Leah Richardson, the right-handed hitting first baseman for the Hornets, is only a freshman, making her first career start today. Played in 1 game for the Hornets this past weekend as they started their season hosting a tournament on their campus there in Montgomery. They went 2-2 in the opening weekend. They are one of the favorites, if not the favorite, in the SWAC this year. They got a veteran lineup, lots of third-year players, lots of juniors, got some redshirt juniors, some seniors mixed in. Richardson, the only freshman in the lineup today. Downstairs, blocked up by the Bulldogs. Davidson, the catcher. 2-2 the count. State's got Davidson behind the plate, Fagan in the circle. So a couple of seniors, the battery today for the Bulldogs. Off speed, drops in for a strike, and Fagan really doing a good job mixing her off-speed pitches here in the first inning and a third of action. That'll be already her 3rd strikeout of the afternoon. And that'll bring up the lefty, Jada Gardner. A middle infielder for the Hornets. Takes that rise ball high for ball 1. Sophomore Gardner, she and Richardson, the only underclassmen in the lineup today. Gardner making her 3rd start of the season. Takes that for strike 2. Correction, strike 1. So the count evens up 1 ball and 1 strike. With Dixon in the on-deck circle, then Parrish is due up if anyone reaches. Swing and a miss. Now it's strike 2. Gardner could not catch up to that one. The Bulldogs starting infield today features Riley Huff at first. You got Paige Cook at second. You've got Shay Moreno at third. And Kennedy at short. Swing and a miss. Big breaking ball from Fagan. Back-to-back strikeouts to begin the top of the second. No one on and 2 gone for Destiny Dixon, the senior right-handed hitting catcher for the Hornets, who are looking for their first base runner of the afternoon. The sun has now come out, and man, what a nice day. Could not ask for better weather in the month of February. Dixon making her 2nd start at catcher this season. That ball drops in nicely on the inside corner, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Dixon looking for her first hit of the season. Only has 2 at-bats coming into today. Started and played in 1 game last weekend for Bama State. Takes that rise ball high, and the count is 2 balls and a strike. reached base one time last weekend, drew a walk, but no hits yet. Breaking ball drops in beautifully, and Fagan looking sharp early on in this one. Count is even at 2-2. Fagan, 4 strikeouts. Of the 5 outs recorded, 4 have come via the strikeout for the lefty out of New Jersey. Wasted that ball in the dirt, and the count goes full. First full count today. 3-2 the count on the catcher for Alabama State, Destiny Dixon, with Kiana Parrish, the shortstop, a right-handed hitter in the on-deck circle. Lifted up and foul and out of play. Back towards the press box. We'll do it again. Count remains full. The Bulldog outfield today features Jackie McKenna in left. You've got Briley St. Clair in center and Chloe Malaulu over in right field. Foul tip. Good job by Dixon to stay alive. Got that bat around just quick enough. Ball comes up and in. Ball 4. First walk issued by Fagan today and on the season. And a good at-bat by Dixon. The senior becomes the first base runner today for the Hornets. So Dixon, not a hit, but it works just as well. Runner on at first, 2 gone for Parrish, who watches that ball miss down and out. 1 ball, no strikes on Parrish, a right-handed hitting junior infielder, shortstop today. Has 1 hit in 8 at-bats on the season. Pop-up foul and out of play. It lands in the stands. We'll do it again. Count is now even. Out of ball and a strike. The Hornets trying to manufacture a 2-out rally as Parrish again fouls one back for strike 2. Caught by Davidson, but caught after it hits the net. One single on the year, but 4 walks drawn by Parrish so far this season. Snap throw to first, and if that tag is a little bit lower, the Bulldogs may have a chance to get Dixon off the bag there at first base. Good throw by Davidson, but the tag from Hull a little high. Get that glove down quicker, and you might have something there. Off-speed pitch, breaks low, and a good take by Parrish. And the count is now full. Parrish, a .417 on base percentage because she's so good, or has been so far this year, at drawing walks. Takes that ball upstairs. Good job by Parrish. Back-to-back walks earned by the Hornets. And they have 2 on base with 2 gone. As Jamaica Flowers, the 8-hole hitter, steps up to the plate. Third baseman, a junior right-handed bat. 1 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout this season, as she makes her 2nd start of the season today here in Game 1 of this scheduled doubleheader. The Bulldogs scored 4 runs in their first at-bat. The Hornets threatening to get on the scoreboard here in their second at-bat. Pop up high in the air, shook it out of play, and it will. And the count evens up 1-1. So no hits given up by Fagan, but a couple of walks this half inning. So runners on at first and second. Dixon at second, Parrish at first. Off speed, downstairs. And the Hornets right now are doing a good job not swinging at pitches out of the zone. Forcing Fagan to find that strike zone, and she has not been able to do that consistently here in the top of the second. The wind has died down significantly here at News Park. Swing and a miss. Good job by Fagan. Just reared back and threw a fastball. And got the count even now at 2-2. Just below the knees. Third consecutive full count. Dixon drew a full count walk. Parrish also drew a full count walk, and now a full count to Flowers with Myers in the on-deck circle. And that is at the knees, called strike 3. The dugout for the Hornets does not agree with that call. Just got the bottom half of the strike zone. And the strikeout is recorded. Strikeout number 5 today for Grace Fagan. She gets out of the jam. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 left on in the top of the second. We go now to the home half of the second inning. The Bulldogs will have the 8 and 9 hitters, Hull and Moreno, due up, followed by the leadoff hitter in the order, St. Clair. So Hull, Moreno, St. Clair due up to face Lunsford. Bulldogs on top by 4, looking to add to it in the bottom of the second inning. Our score 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Mississippi State will have Riley Hull, the first baseman, the lefty, due up. She hits the first ball hard over to left, but in the corner, DeRamus tracks it down for out number 1. An aggressive swing by the youngster Hull, trying to go the opposite way. But a good job defensively by DeRamus in left to get the out. So no one on and 1 gone for Shea Moreno, a transfer junior right-handed hitter, batting 9th in the order today for the Bulldogs. Starting at third base. A newcomer to Starkville, but not a newcomer to college softball. That ball misses outside. Count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Or rather, 2 balls and no strikes. So 2 balls and no strikes on Moreno with the leadoff hitter in the order, St. Clair, in the on-deck circle. Lunsford in the circle, pitching for her second inning today for the Hornets. Was roughed up by the top half of the MSU lineup in the first inning, as 7 hitters came to the plate. And the Dogs scored 4 runs on 4 hits. Incredibly efficient offensive output in that first at bat. Moreno takes that ball outside, and the count is now 3-1. So a hitter's count for Moreno, who is looking for her first hit as a Bulldog. 0 for 6 on the year coming into today as she makes her 4th start of the season. That ball lifted high and deep at the wall and gone. How about that for your first Bulldog hit? It's a home run for Shea Moreno. 0 for no more. She lifts one to straightaway center field, just over the fence and just past the outstretched glove of Myers, the center fielder. And the Bulldogs take an early but commanding 5-0 lead off the solo shot from Shea Moreno. That's a good way to get on the scoreboard with your first hit with your new team. A solo shot to straightaway center. That ball sounded good off the bat, too. That was a nice swing from the 9-hole hitter, and that will turn over the order, and it brings up St. Clair, who is 1 for 1 today. Led off the first inning with a single up the middle. Also scored on that double by Mia Davidson. Part of that 4-run first for State. St. Clair now hitting over 600 on the season. Granted, it's early, but still, that's not bad. 11 at-bats. And already getting a good collection of hits on the stat sheet. Has a couple of doubles on the year. Has scored 3 times. That ball lifted to left center. The wind will carry it out towards the track, but Meyer is able to track it down and make the grab. So 2 gone. And no one on. 5-0, Dogs on top as Mala'ulu now steps in. The veteran from Southern California steps in. Long Beach, California, her hometown. The Bulldogs were in SoCal for the opening weekend of play last weekend, and I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. Ground ball out off the bat of Mala'ulu, and the inning is over. State adds 1 more run on 1 hit. The solo shot, the first homer of the season for Shea Moreno. 5-0 our score. Mississippi State leads Alabama State. The Hornets will have Myers, Doremus, and Greenlee, 9, 1, and 2 in the order. Coming up to face the Bulldogs as they send Grace Fagan back to the circle. 5-0, Dogs on top here after the first couple of innings. We go to the top of the 3rd in Starkville. Madison Myers leads off the inning for the Hornets of Alabama State. Swing and a miss. A slap hitting Myers the starting center fielder today for the Hornets. On the year, a good hitter so far, .333 average after the first 4 games of the season. Has really good speed. You see her trying to bunt her way on base here in the third. State had the defense drawn in, but not all the way in. They were not quite at bunt depth. So Myers perhaps trying to catch the State infield off guard, but bunted it foul, so now the count's 0-2. Trying to lift one shallow into left, but it goes foul into the MSU dugout. We'll do it again. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes on Myers. Myers, a junior. 6 juniors in the lineup today, the starting lineup for the Hornets. 6 juniors, 1 sophomore, 1 freshman, 1 senior. And again, Myers trying to punch one the opposite way. Has not been able to straighten one out so far. Has a couple of hits on 6 at-bats, 1 run scored, 1 run driven in here in 2022. On the ground left side, nice backhanded stab by Moreno, thrown across in time to retire the speedster, Madison Myers. No one on, 1 gone. Top of the order, Doremus steps in for Alabama State. Doremus 0 for 1 today. Popped out on the left side of the infield. Her first time up. Good bunt. Tough play for Moreno, and it hits the back of the runner, and Doremus is safe. Nice bunt laid down by Doremus. The Hornets have lots of speed, and I wonder if they're going to call her back. Got our home plate umpire here. I believe he's saying Doremus either she's out or he's calling her back. He's calling her back. Sure is. That ball must have hit in the batter's box first. Or is he calling her out? He's calling her out. No, he's not. Okay, she's not out. Okay. All right, so some confusion. And what I think happened is that bunt attempt actually hit in the batter's box first before it rolled fair, and it's a foul ball. So tough break for Doremus. Because that was, to the naked eye, from our vantage point, a really good bunt. And it would have given the Hornets a base runner. Boy, that pitch had all kinds of movement on it. Some late sink to it as well. Doremus takes it for a ball. The count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Doremus, a .500 hitter on the season. A tough out in the top of the order. Foul ball, simply swung late to get a piece of it, to fight that one off, to stay alive. And the count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Already 7 hits on the season for Doremus. Most on the team. Had a really good opening weekend in those 4 games hosted by the Hornets at the Stinger Classic. They defeated Purdue Fort Wayne, and they defeated Charleston. That ball lifted into right, shallow though, and coming in and making the grab is Mala'ulu, who was already playing in shallow right. And she makes the grab. So the tough to get out Doremus now is out. And I'm being told that what they called on that bunt attempt was that Doremus herself was out of the box. That she stepped up and out of the box and then made contact, which used to be an automatic out in softball and is now simply a strike. That also would explain why Doremus, when they made that call, she initially began to head to the dugout because she thought she was out and then had to be told to get back out there and finish the at-bat. So that was the call. Tough break for the Hornets, and the Bulldogs took advantage of it. Now you've got Bailey Greenlee, the DP, at the plate for the Hornets. She is 0 for 1 today, but on the year is 6 for 13. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes, 2 balls, 2 gone, no one on. Fagan trying to keep the Hornets off the bases. She's been given a 5-run cushion here early. Foul tip, straight back. We'll do it again as Greenlee will stay alive. 6 hits and 6 runs driven in for Greenlee, the DH or DP. That's that's pretty good. You've got 6 hits on the year. You've driven in 6 runs. That's efficiency. Swing and a miss. Fagan fooled Greenlee badly on that one. She gets strikeout number 6 on the game. And the Dogs are on top 5-0 now, going to the bottom of the 3rd here in Starkville. Score with Mississippi State leading Alabama State. Davidson makes contact on the very first pitch and grounds one over to Flowers at 3rd. And she gloves and throws across to Richardson in time for out number 1. A quick out, retired is Davidson. No one on, 1 gone as Jackie McKenna now steps back up. She takes strike 1 from Lunsford. Lunsford back in there for her 3rd inning of work. The freshman right-hander has been touched for 5 runs on 5 hits. She has not issued any walks, nor has she recorded any strikeouts. So there have been a lot of balls put into play here in the first couple of innings against Lunsford. 4 runs in the first, 1 in the second. Dogs on top 5-0. That ball is going to be a grounder, hard hit, but foul over into the left field corner. Ricochets around out there before getting picked up by Doremus. 2-2 the count on Jackie McKenna, who is 0 for 1 so far today. McKenna, the veteran out of Florida, looking for her first hit of the season, and she is hit by the pitch. So not a base hit, but it works just as good as she gets on the base. And the Bulldogs have a base runner with less than 2 outs, with a good hitter coming up as Paige Cook will step in. And the Dogs may want to use a runner for McKenna. And that's exactly what will happen here. The Bulldogs will pinch run, and it will be Allison Florian who will come in as the pinch runner. So Florian will run at first as Cook, the sophomore from Georgia, steps in to hit from the right side. Strike one delivered by Lunsford. That ball lifted into shallow left center. Shortstop goes out on the edge of the grass. And Gardner, or correction, Parrish rather. Parrish makes the grab. So Parrish, the shortstop, makes the catch. And there are two gone. And Lunsford is an out away from getting out of the inning unscathed. As Allison Florian, the graduate from Kannapolis, North Carolina, transfer from Duke, runs at first base. So Florian on at first, two gone, Kiki Edwards at the plate. Runner takes off, swing and a miss, throw down is in time. Good job by the catcher, Dixon. Nice throw to second base to get the runner Florian out, trying to steal second. And that's how the bottom of the third ends for State in the third. The Hornets have Alex Preston to lead off the top of the fourth. They trail by 5 runs. First pitch is fouled back for a strike. It's the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Preston, Richardson, and Gardner, due up for the Hornets. If anybody reaches, it'll be Dixon, the catcher, due up. Off-speed pitch, fouled back, strike 2. Downstairs, ball 1. Not a bad idea by Fagan. And a good take by Preston. A ball and 2 strikes the count. That ball's fair. Gloved nicely by the catcher, Davidson, and thrown to first in time. Preston retired. No one on and 1 gone. So no one on and 1 gone for the first baseman, Leah Richardson. Right-handed hitting youngster. 0 for 1 so far today. Nice strike thrown in there by Fagan. Rise ball, swung on and grounded over to third, thrown across by Moreno in time for out number 2. Richardson retired, 2 gone and no one on for the second baseman now, Jada Gardner. Bulldog defense drawn in on the dirt and also shallow in the outfield, especially in left against the slap-hitting Gardner. You don't see as much pure slap hitting as you used to with softball, but you still have, usually everybody's got one, at least one now, pure slap hitter. It used to be where you would see some teams where at least half the lineup, if not 2/3 of the lineup, would be slappers. You don't see that very often anymore, and it's become more of a power hitting offensive game, especially when you play in the SEC, Pac-12, ACC, Big Ten, Big 12, the power conferences. Most of the offenses now are geared more towards that style. That ball comes in, broke towards the plate late, but not enough to catch the strike zone. The count is 3-2 on Gardner. Gardner 0 for 1. She struck out her first time up in the second. Now hitting in the top of the fourth. Her team down by 5 runs. That ball's high, and the walk is drawn. So 3 walks drawn by the Hornets. 2 last inning, now 1 here in the fourth. And they are starting to at least get some base runners against Fagan. And it brings up the catcher, Destiny Dixon. Dixon drew a walk her first time up last inning. Got as far as second base before a strikeout from Fagan ended that scoring threat in the top of the third. This ball game almost an hour old as we are in the fourth inning now. That pitch in there for a strike. Intermittent clouds here at News Park this afternoon, so you see on your screens mostly cloudy. Then every now and then you'll see a ray of sunshine break through. That pitch is high. Davidson thought about a snap throw to first base as Gardner got a big jump off the bag over there. Foul tip that may have nicked the right hand of the Bulldog catcher, Davidson. She popped up, shaking that right hand a little bit. Davidson catching game 1, which means more than likely she will be playing in the DP spot for State in game 2 today. Off speed, late swing, ball is bouncing and rolling foul. A really late swing on that breaking ball to stay alive from Dixon. That ball broke late, and Dixon, good bat speed to put it in play, but it rolls foul up the first base line. So we'll do it again. Count is even, 2-2 with 2 gone. Runner on at first. In a 5-0 ball game, Bulldogs lead the Hornets. Rise ball, now the count's full. So the Hornets, no runs yet to show for it, but they are making Fagan throw a lot of pitches now. She cruised through the first 2 innings, but then threw a lot of pitches in the third. And now a lot of pitches thrown so far here in the fourth, too. Ball lifted into center field. St. Clair calls for it. She makes the catch. And the inning is over. In the top of the fourth for the Hornets, no runs, no hits. There were no errors, 1 left on. The Hornets have stranded 3 through 4 innings and trail Mississippi State 5-0. As we go to the bottom of the fourth, the Bulldogs will have coming up the 6 through 8 hitters, Edwards, Kennedy, and Hull. A scoring threat last inning. So Edwards, her second plate appearance of the ball game. Hits one into center field. Could drop in and does drop in off the glove of the diving Myers. Good effort from Myers. That ball, though, just died in shallow center and drops in for what should be ruled a base hit. And that will be a single for Kiki Edwards, who will be pinch run for at first base. The Bulldogs will use number 25. That is Selena Daniel. Daniel, a 5'7" freshman from Houston, Texas, makes her home debut. First appearance in a ball game at home this season. So Daniel runs the bases after the nice base hit to center field from Edwards. That was the second base hit of the season for Edwards. A leadoff base hit. So the Bulldogs looking to tack on some additional offense. They are seemingly in control at the moment, on top by 5 runs here in the 4th inning. They got a runner on base, no one out. Kennedy hits one, a foul ball, but not foul by much. That was really close. Went just foul down that line and left. Diving attempt by the third baseman, Flowers. And that's one of those where if you're Flowers, it's a good thing you didn't make contact with it. Because if she made contact with it, would have been a fair ball. Doesn't matter, though, because Kennedy hits one right up the middle for a base hit on the very next pitch. So the Bulldogs shortstop, Kennedy, gets a base hit as she goes up the middle. So back-to-back singles, and the Dogs are threatening to add some more runs to the scoreboard. They've got 2 on with no one out. And time is called, and the Hornets might make a pitching change right here. Head coach Todd Brantley in his 3rd year. Competition today for the Hornets. And Pye inherits a 2 on, no one out, 5-run deficit situation. So less than ideal for the youngster out of California. Riley Hull steps up. Left-handed hitting first baseman for State. An RBI chance here for the youngster. Strike one delivered by Pye. On the year, Ashley Pye is 1-0. She's thrown 7 1/3 innings already on the season. That ball high, count evens up, 1 ball, 1 strike. In those 7 1/3 innings, she has given up just 1 earned run on 7 hits. Has walked 4, struck out 1. Has given up 7 hits, including a couple of extra base hits, 2 doubles. Her defense has not played well behind her, though. She has given up 4 runs, but only 1 earned in her actions so far on the year. No saves. Hull shows bunt, a good bunt, back to the pitcher, and no one covering first base because the first baseman, Richardson, came up to try to fill the bunt. Beautifully done by the freshman Hull, and the Bulldogs have the bases loaded. That was a really good bunt and caught the Hornets defense off guard. And the Hornets did not fill that well And State took advantage. Now an opportunity to blow the game wide open for Shea Moreno, who already has 1 home run today. A solo shot her first time up. Ball 1. Nowhere to put Moreno. So Pye has to throw strikes, but also does not want to give up an extra base hit. Just above the waist, that'll be ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes on Moreno. Moreno, her first homer as a Bulldog, her last time up in the bottom of the 2nd inning, the last time State scored. In the dirt, ball 3. And the Bulldogs can smell some blood in the water. They've got Daniel running at 3rd, Kennedy at 2nd, Paul at 1st. And that will be ruled a bunt single for Hull. So 3 hits in this inning for State. Strike delivered with Moreno taking, and the count is now 3-1. Ball up the middle, could drop in. No, a diving grab. Gonna score a run anyway, but a nice diving grab by Myers to prevent an extra base hit. It'll be a sac fly RBI for Moreno, her 2nd RBI of the afternoon, but a really nice effort by Myers in center field. She had one similar to that ball go off her glove earlier in the ball game, but she made that play. Tagging and scoring from 3rd base was Daniel. Good job by Daniel to sit back and wait to see if Myers made the catch or not. And once she did, but was still laying on the turf, Daniel, the pinch runner, did what she's been put in the ball game to do, and that's make some good decisions. Took off from 3rd, scored easily, and Kennedy able to also tag and advance to 3rd. So the Bulldogs have runners at the corners. They now lead 6-0 with Cook St. Clair at the plate. So the top of the order is back up. Bunt laid down, beautiful bunt. And that'll be a run scoring bunt RBI single for Briley St. Clair. You cannot bunt a ball better than that. And great job by Kennedy at 3rd base to aggressively take off for home. And the way that ball bounced and rolled, or didn't bounce or roll, there was no way that any of the defenders from the Hornets could get there in time. Great job by State playing a little small ball here in the 4th inning. They now lead 7-0. And still threatening with 2 runners on base. 1 at 1st, 1 at 2nd. And Mala'ulu at the plate. Chloe Mala'ulu 1 for 2 today with a run scored. Bouncer to short, flip to 2nd, relay not in time. So middle runner is out. Bulldogs have runners at the corners now with 2 gone. And a good job at short by Parrish. That ball took a weird hop late. That 2nd or 3rd hop was a high chop, and a good job by Parrish to glove it. She threw to Gardner to get the force out of St. Clair. The relay, though, to 1st base, not in time to get out Mala'ulu. So Mala'ulu at 1st, Hull at 3rd, and it brings up the power hitting Mia Davidson. Simply put, one of the best home run hitters in the history of SEC softball. One of the best overall players ever in the history of Mississippi State softball. That ball comes in and hits her. Pye trying to go tight, low and tight and it hits Davidson. And the Bulldogs once again will have the bases loaded. Runners at first, second, and third. Mala'ulu goes to second. Davidson will stay in the ball game and run at first. Got pegged on the left hip. And that's when you're really glad that it's not 35 degrees and spitting rain when you get hit like that. Still going to hurt, but a little more comfortable when the weather's nice. Jackie McKenna now steps back up there for an RBI chance. Strike one delivered by Ashley Pye. McKenna today 0 for 1. Was hit by a pitch her last time up in the third. If that happens right here, that'll score a run, and a big run for State. Swing and a miss, and McKenna in the hole, 0-2. A couple of runs on 4 hits. The Hornets, though, have done a pretty good job of limiting the damage, considering how many runners the Bulldogs have had on base here in the home half of the 4th inning. Up the middle. Shortstop cannot glove it cleanly. Run scores. Everyone is safe. The Bulldogs are on top 8-0. I mentioned earlier when Pye came into the ballgame that her defense has not played well behind her. She gives up a lot of ground balls, does Pye. And her infielders have just not done a good job behind her. And that rings true here in the 4th inning. As that will be, I'm assuming, ruled an error. They have not made the official ruling yet. 8-0, Dogs on top. Safe at first is McKenna. Mala'ulu scored. I'm sorry, it was Hull who scored. So Hull scored, Mala'ulu goes to third, Davidson to second, and they're going to give McKenna credit for a single. And the ball comes in and hits Paige Cook. And the damage continues. The Bulldogs played another run. They have now scored 4 runs in this at-bat. And they have blown the game open. 9-0, State on top. As things have gotten away from the Hornets here in the 4th inning. So Paige Cook hit by the pitch. McKenna goes to second. Davidson to third. Mala'ulu scores. And on the previous play, McKenna given credit for a single that scored Riley Hull. So the Dogs now on top by 9, which means they are now just 3 outs away from ending the ball game early. As you head to the 5th inning here momentarily. Kiki Edwards at the plate. The Bulldogs have batted around here in this 4th inning. It was Edwards who led off the inning with a base hit. She was then pinch run for and now inserted back into the ball game, or I guess reinserted into the ball game. Daniel pinch ran for Edwards and scored a run earlier this at-bat. So now Edwards back in there. 0-2 the count. That ball in the dirt gets away from the catcher. Scoring is Davidson. Davidson did not hesitate. That ball bounced away from Dixon. A ball in the dirt that should be scored, a wild pitch. And Davidson alertly takes off and scores, and the Bulldogs have now scored 5 runs in the 4th and have doubled their lead. It is now 10-0, Bulldogs on top. And a 1-2 count now to Edwards. With still 2 on base. Chopper to third, gloved and thrown across in time. Flowers makes the play, and the inning is over. It's trailed by 10 runs. They got to score at least 3 runs this at bat to keep the ball game alive. Of course, the run rule in softball is still a lead of 8 or more after at least 4.5 innings. We got game 2 coming up for you at 3 o'clock this afternoon. These same two teams. An SEC SWAC showdown here in the very early going of the SEC softball season. Everyone got started last weekend. Now you've got the schools who didn't have home games last weekend playing their home openers in the midweek and this weekend. The Bulldogs have a tournament that they're hosting coming up this weekend. They'll have Southern Illinois, Georgia Tech, and Central Arkansas coming into News Park for a round-robin tournament. We'll have the broadcast of all the games on Saturday and Sunday. We won't be able to bring you the Friday games, but Saturday and Sunday games against Central Arkansas and Georgia Tech coming your way here on the SEC Network on Saturday and Sunday. That ball got away from Fagan, and the count is now 3-2 to Kiana Parrish, who is hitless today, but has been on base. Drew a walk her first time up. This is just her second plate appearance of the ball game. Downstairs, ball 4. So Parrish has now drawn 2 walks, 2 quality at-bats for the junior Kiana Parrish. And I think the Hornets are going to use a pinch hitter. Yes, they are. Instead of the slap-hitting 9-hole hitter Myers, they're going to bring in a power-hitting right-handed bat in the form of number 20, Elizabeth Williams. Williams, a 5'7" sophomore from Enterprise, Alabama, steps in from the right side and will bat with a runner on at first and no one out, as the Hornets are trying to score their first run of the game. So first things first, got to get some more base runners. Then you got to score your first run. Then you got to score a couple of more after that to keep the game alive as you trail by 10 here in the top of the 5th. Time called by Josh Johnson, the Bulldog pitching coach. First time we've seen Coach Johnson make his way out to the circle. You'll notice the Bulldogs continuing their tradition of wearing the teal-colored uniforms during their midweek games. That is, of course, in honor of former teammate Alex Wilcox, who a couple of years ago lost her battle with ovarian cancer. Teal, the official color of ovarian cancer awareness. So the Bulldogs, when Alex was still living and was fighting that awful disease, began wearing teal to support her in all of their midweek games, and they have continued that tradition ever since. They still fly the flag, which reads, "No one fights alone," and has number 8, the number worn by Wilcox. They still fly that flag here in center field at News Park as a memorial to their former teammate. There you see it. The memory of Wilcox lives on here in Starkville, Mississippi. One is on, no one out. A 2-ball, 1-strike count, make it a 3-1 count to Elizabeth Williams, the pinch hitter for the Hornets. I don't think Williams has an at-bat yet this season. No, she does not. So first time in the box this year for Williams, and she makes it count. Draws the walk. So a quality at bat from the pinch hitter, Williams. Williams last year had 21 at bats and went 3 for walks. She's given up now 5 walks. Still, though, 6 strikeouts, so a positive strikeout to walk ratio, but 5 walks, including 2 more here in the 5th, when really all she has to do with a 10-run lead is throw strikes. And for the moment, at least, the Bulldog coaching staff can let her stay in the ball game and try to work through it. As Ariana Atchley, yet another pinch hitter, steps in for the Hornets. Number 9, Atchley, a 5'4" junior, right-handed hitting outfielder from Millbrook, Alabama. A transfer from West Georgia. Three balls and a strike. Fagan trying to dig in deep and finish off the ball game. And that just misses. Low and to the outside. 3 walks and the bases are loaded. Disrow goes to third. Williams over to second. Atchley to first. So a couple of pinch hitters draw walks. And the Hornets, an opportunity here to not only score their first run of the afternoon, but to plate 3 runs and keep the ball game alive, at least for one more half inning. Swing and a miss as Kendall Doremus steps in. So a great job by the 2 pinch hitters at the bottom of the order, Williams and Atchley. And now it brings up Doremus, the top of the order, to try to drive in some runs. Downstairs, count evens up as the sun breaks through the clouds one more time here in the first ball game of 2 today. Top of the 5th, 10-0, all Bulldogs, but the Hornets threatening here with no one out and bases loaded. Breaking ball downstairs, count is 2-1. And right now the Hornets not even swinging, really. They're just going to sit back and make Fagan throw strikes consistently. Ball lifted into left, and that's going to be a base, an extra base hit. It could score 3. Throw does not come home. It will score 3, and the ball now gets away from the Bulldog infield, and ending up all the way at third is Doremus. A bases clearing extra base hit, and the Hornets have not only scored their first couple of runs, they've scored 3 runs, which means they'll keep the ball game going for at least one more inning. So in the short term, at least, mission accomplished by the Hornets, as they have touched Grace Fagan for 3 runs on just 1 hit. The first hit allowed today by Fagan. Had a no-hitter going on, and State was going to try to let her work through it, see if she could get the no-hitter completed. And a gutsy effort there by the lefty, but just kind of ran out of gas and could not finish it off. And the really talented Doremus, with no one out and bases juiced, stepped up and just made Fagan pay for it. Hit one to the gap in left center. Doremus a slapper, so State's outfield on that left side drawn in, and she slapped it right past everybody to the wall, and it scored 3 runs. And they're still trying to figure out, I think, how to score that base hit from Doremus. Do you give her a double? Do you give her a single? who's the error on, etc. 10-3 our score. The new pitcher for the Bulldogs will be number 34, Fahapito. Matalasi Fahapito will step in. The 5'11 junior, a transfer from New Mexico State, from Temecula, California, Great Oak High School. Played for the Aggies out in Las Cruces, New Mexico for a couple of years and then transferred in to Starkville. An infielder slash pitcher. And she will do both of those things for State, as well as hit some as well throughout the season. So she'll come on in relief of Grace Fagan. You cannot close the book on Fagan yet. As of right now, she has given up 3 runs on just the 1 base hit. So a really good outing by Fagan, just couldn't close things out here in the 5th. And so now, with still no one out, and a runner at 3rd, Greenlee steps in, and Fahapito delivers ball 1, low and outside. This is the second appearance on the season for Fahapito. Has thrown just 1 inning on the year. Pop up off the bat of Greenlee, gloved at second base by Cook. And a good job by Fahapito to get the out. 1 gone with Doremus at third base. And that will bring up the right fielder Preston to the plate. In 1 1/3 now of innings thrown, Fahapito has given up 1 hit, 1 unearned run, no walks, no strikeouts. Shallow fly ball in right. The wind knocked it down. That'll score the 4th run of the inning, as Doremus will score from third base. And that'll be a bloop single off the bat of Preston, as she went the opposite way, and the wind blowing in from right just knocked that ball down in front of Malauulu. And that is the 2nd hit of the inning for the Hornets, and they plate their 4th run of the frame. So we saw State score 5 runs in the home half of the 4th. The Hornets answer by scoring 4 runs in the very next half inning, top of the 5th. So we had a lot of offense here in the last 30 minutes or so. And now Leah Richardson steps back up, the first baseman for the Hornets, trying to add to their tally here in the 5th. Hard fastball, but it misses down and in from Fahapito. One ball, no strikes. That run will be charged to Fagan. So now the book can be closed on Grace Fagan, assuming that she does not re-enter the ball game. So Fagan, 4 innings thrown, just the 1 hit, but 4 earned runs. She walked 6, that was her big issue, but also struck out 6. Faced 19 batters. And her 1 hit allowed was a 3-run double. Double play attempt will not be executed. Lead runner, though, is retired. That ball, a grounder off the bat of Richardson. And Greenlee is retired. No, I'm sorry, that was Richardson who was retired. And it was Brown out at second base. So Brown retired. Richardson reaches on a fielder's choice, and there are now 2 gone in the inning. And it will be, let's see here, might have another pinch hitter. No, it's Gardner. Gardner back in the ball game. Out at first base. How about that? Snap throw to first. And Richardson got caught napping a bit off the bag at first. And State takes advantage of it, and she is out, and that is how the inning score, with Mississippi State leading Alabama State. Kennedy leads off the inning and bounces one over to the third baseman. That is Williams, who stays in the ball game after being put in as a pinch hitter last inning. She is your new third baseman for the Hornets. And the ball finds her, and she makes the play from third to first in time, and quickly Kennedy is retired. No one on, 1 gone, with the Bulldogs batting with a 6-run lead. They had a 10-run lead and were 3 outs away from run ruling the Hornets in the 5th, top of the 5th. And the Hornets came roaring back and stung State for 4 runs on just 2 base hits in the top half of the 5th. So the ball game is still going, and you see the way that the Hornets string together quality at bats in the top of the 5th. They used some pinch hitters, some pinch runners. You see that the Hornets have a lot of depth. They're a veteran ball club. You're starting to see why they are one of the favorites to win the SWAC championship this year. They're even receiving some votes in the top 25 of the NFCA coaches poll. A quality team from Montgomery, Alabama. Walk is issued to the Bulldogs' number 4, Riley Hull. So the lefty first baseman draws a walk, and it brings up now Shea Moreno. Moreno's had a really good day at the plate. Up the middle, right to the shortstop. Double play. Boy, that was just executed perfectly by the Hornets. Ground ball straight to Parrish, who gloves it. The relay throw in plenty of time. Jada Gardner leads off the top of the 6th inning. The Hornets trail the Bulldogs 10-4. Comebacker to Fajapito, and the throw to first is in time. Good job by the Bulldog reliever to field her position in the circle well, and quickly 1 gone in the top of the 6th. And that brings up now the catcher, Destiny Dixon. Trying to see who the Bulldogs have defensively, if they've made any changes. It looks like they have. I'll get those to you here momentarily. One ball, no strike, the count to Dixon. Dixon so far today is 0 for 1. Struck out earlier this afternoon. Strike delivered. 2 balls and a strike on Dixon. You've got Parrish in the on-deck circle. Grounder sharply hit but foul right between the legs of the head coach, Todd Brantley. 3rd year at Alabama State. 14th year, though, overall as a head coach. And this right here is remarkable. 14 seasons, or 13-plus seasons. And coming into today, his career record, 325 wins, 325 losses. Exactly 500. His record in Montgomery through 2+ seasons, 31-46. They were, I think, 29-39 a year ago. Finished, though, 10-8 in conference play. Hard hit ball to left, ranging back, though, and making the grab in left field for the Bulldogs is, well, I can't tell who that is, but it's not Jackie McKenna. The Bulldogs using a lot of defensive replacements. Looks like it is, for the Bulldogs, number 21 out there in left field now. Phoebe Florian. We'll wait for confirmation. Because the Bulldogs have made several defensive changes here in the 6th inning. Hard hit ball to left off the bat of Kiana Parrish. Foul ball. And she's in the hole now, 0-2. So the Bulldogs still have Mala'ulu in right, St. Clair in center. It looks like Florian is in left. That moves McKenna to the DH. You've got Aquana Brownlee in at second base now, filling in for Paige Cook. And I think that's it. Foul tip, a little excuse me swing, and a foul tip to stay alive for Parrish. The shortstop for the Hornets, who today is hitless, but has had 2 quality at-bats, has been on base now twice, drew a walk in each of her 2 at-bats or 2 appearances at the plate. Had a walk in the 2nd and a walk in the 5th. And yes, that is 10-4 our score, going to the bottom of the 6th. I'm Anthony Craven, coming to you from Starkville, Mississippi. First home softball game of the season for Samantha Ricketts and Mississippi State. Looking to snap a 3-game losing skid. They won their opener against Loyola Marymount last weekend out in SoCal. Then dropped back-to-back ball games to 2 of the best teams in America, Oklahoma and UCLA. Then came back and dropped a close one to the host school, Loyola Marymount. So they split with Loyola Marymount, and they were shut out in back-to-back ball games against number 1 Oklahoma and number 3 UCLA. All 4 games against quality opponents. Marymount not ranked right now, but still regarded as a quality team that could very well end up in regionals at the end of the season. So a quality win against Loyola Marymount, but then you had back-to-back games where I don't think State played their best, and then you had a disappointing result where you had a missed opportunity in the second ball game against Loyola Marymount to cap off the weekend out there in LA. So State now home for the first time, getting a chance to play in front of the home crowd. Pretty good home crowd, too, for an early start time on a Wednesday. In the midweek crowds, it's always can be a little tricky sometimes. You never know what to expect on a midweek. Briley St. Clair pulls one right past the second baseman, Gardner. Hard hit ball, just ate Gardner up. And St. Clair's on base yet again. Already a couple of base hits today, and we'll see how they score that one. I would imagine that'll be a base hit. And it will be a single for St. Clair. 3 hits in the game for Briley St. Clair, who continues her hot start to 2022. Runner on at first as Chloe Mala'ulu steps in. Mala'ulu, the veteran right fielder from Long Beach, California, St. Anthony High School. 5'7", right-handed hitting senior. Hits one hard to right and into the glove of Greenlee. Greenlee just put the glove up and snagged that one out of the air, fought off the wind. The wind has picked up, by the way, significantly. So now that wind that was blowing those balls down earlier in the ball game, now keeping them up in the air here in the late innings. So 1 on and 1 gone for Mia Davidson, who is just 1 home run away from tying the SEC career home run record. Lauren Hager, the former Florida star, holds the all-time SEC record, and Davidson just 1 home run away from tying that mark. High fly ball, not deep enough to leave the yard. Over in left center, grabbing it is Myers, tagging and advancing into scoring position is St. Clair. How about that heads-up base running by St. Clair to give the Bulldogs now a chance with a runner on at second base. And State will use a pinch hitter. Looks like Addison Purvis will pick up a bat. The sophomore from Sullivan, Missouri, played a lot as a freshman a year ago. And now she'll step in, and because she's in the lineup, I called her a pinch hitter, but because she's in the lineup, that probably means that Jackie McKenna is not in the lineup at all anymore. If you're scoring at home. And I know you are. Nice strike delivered by Ashley Pye. Pye's done a good job in relief, calming things down. With that, she came on 2+ innings ago, back in the 4th, with bases loaded, no one out. That could have turned into an absolute disaster. And State still scored 5 runs in that inning, but it could have been worse. I mean, State could have easily scored 2-3 more runs in that inning. And if they had, the ball game would already be over at this point. And Pye came in and got just enough done to keep the Hornets within striking distance. Purvis hits one the opposite way, foul towards the Bulldog dugout, so we'll do it again. Count is even at 2-2. So as of right now, Purvis pinch hitting for McKenna. We'll see if she stays in the ball game as the DP for McKenna or not going forward. That ball misses high and inside. Count is now full, 3-2 on Addison Purvis, who on the year is 1 for 6. This is her 4th game played, so she has played in every game but 1 so far this year. Hard hit ball, but foul over towards the Bulldog indoor facility, over to our left. And we'll do it again. Counts full, 3 balls, 2 strikes on Purvis. Last year, Purvis played in 26 games. Pop up left center field. Calling off everyone is Myers, and she makes the grab, and the inning is over. We go to the top of the 7th inning. The Bulldogs 3 outs away from getting their second victory of the year, their first at home. Offensively for the Hornets of Alabama State, who trail by 6 and are down to their final 3 outs. Williams tried to check a swing and could not. Went around. Strike 1. Off the handle of the bat, that ball foul, right-hand side, so strike 2 on Williams. The Bulldogs have Fajapito in the circle. She has gone the last 2 innings in relief for State. Has not surrendered any runs yet. Gave up 1 hit. That was back in the 5th inning. So 4 runs have come across the plate today for the Hornets, all of them charged to the Bulldogs starter, Grace Fagan, who still stands to be the winner if State can close out the ball game. Williams fights off that one, goes the opposite way, and will stay alive. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Williams drew a walk and scored as part of that 4-run 5th inning for the Hornets that kept the game alive. State was 3 outs away from run ruling the Hornets, and give them credit. They came back and scored 4 runs. Got the bases loaded. They got a big bases clearing triple or double from their best hitter, Doremus. Kept the ball game alive. State, though, has kept them off the scoreboard since then and is now 3 outs away from closing the door here in Game 1. Game 2 will start about 25 minutes after Game 1 concludes. And we'll have that broadcast for you here on the SEC Network as well. It'll be a whole different broadcast, though, so you can't just keep this stream open. You got to close it and then find it again on the app about 25 minutes after the game is over. Swing and a miss, and a strikeout recorded by Fajapito. And that will be her 2nd strikeout of the afternoon. So 1 gone, no one on. Madison Myers will step in. She is 0 for 1 today. Grounded out in her only other plate appearance of the ballgame. That came back in the 3rd. She was pinch hit for in the 5th. She shows bunt and takes it for a strike. Myers is a prototypical slap hitter, so State will bring the infielders in at all 4 positions, but especially down there at 3rd base where Moreno is playing up the line from the bag. Foul tip. Myers in the hole, 0-2. Phoebe Florian in left, St. Clair in center, Mala'ulu in right. Hull at first, Brownlee at 2nd, Kennedy at short, Moreno at 3rd, Davidson behind the plate, and Fajapito in the circle. Swing and a miss. How about that? Back-to-back strikeouts from Fajapito to begin the top of the 7th, and now the Bulldogs only an out away from winning their home opener and moving to 2-3 on the year. And it will be the best hitter for the Hornets who will step up and try to keep the ball game alive as Kendall Doremus steps in. First pitch low and outside for ball 1. Doremus 1 for 3 in the ball game. Popped out in the 1st, lined out in the 3rd, and then had that 3 RBI double in the 5th. A bases clearing double. Later scored herself in that 5th inning when the Hornets did all their offensive damage, mainly against Grace Fagan, who only allowed 1 hit the entire ball game. Had a no-hitter going into the 5th but the walks, the free bases that she gave up came back to bite her, and she had to give the ball to Fajapito, who has done a good job so far in relief. Grounder foul for a strike, and now the Bulldogs a strike away from earning victory number 2 on the young season. 1-2 the count on Doremus. The 3 runs driven in back in the 5th, her first 3 runs driven in on the season. Swing and a miss. Fajapito strikes out the side in order to end the 7th inning and to end the ball game. So Fajapito puts the exclamation point on a victory for Mississippi State. The Bulldogs defeat Alabama State by a final score of 10-4 and move their record on the year to 2-3. Meanwhile, the Hornets fall to 2-3. So a matchup of 2 2-3 teams coming up in game 2. Our nightcap will have a first pitch of approximately